Welcome back, everyone. Although the Lakers were undoubtedly one of, if not the biggest disappointment in the NBA this season, they did manage to uncover a couple of hidden gems. One of which that many fans like to point to happens to be Malik Monk, and while they may not have truly uncovered him, I would agree that they helped him to finally unlock his game. Malik Monk put up a career year with the Lakers, averaging a career-high 13.8 points per game, and he did that while shooting a very efficient 39.1% from the three-point line. He pretty much improved in every area of his game, and there are those that believe that because of that, Malik Monk has now become their most valuable young player. And while you can definitely make a case for Malik Monk, even though he is no longer under contract with their team, I think it would be even harder to deny the argument that can be made for their undrafted rookie, Austin Reaves. Well, maybe I can't really refer to him as a rookie anymore, but I think we can all agree that he showed a lot of potential during his rookie year. The numbers that he put up may not really jump out at you, but if you actually watched him play, you could not help but notice the all-around feel for the game that he has, which at times made me forget that he was even a rookie. Now, don't get me wrong here, he did have his fair share of rookie moments, but for the most part, he played well above the standards for a player in his rookie year. And not only for an undrafted rookie either, because he played better than many of the players taken in the first round of the 2021 NBA draft. Then when you throw in the way he ended the season by becoming the first undrafted rookie to ever put up a triple-double and joining a Laker list of Jerry West, Elgin Baylor, Magic Johnson, and Lonzo Ball as the only rookies in Laker history to put up a triple-double, that is pretty damn impressive. And for a lot of people, it really begs the question of, has Austin Reaves now become their most valuable young player? In my opinion, it's no longer even a question, and let me explain why. We already briefly touched on the argument that can be made for Malik Monk, but I don't think that he, nor any other young player on their team has a better argument than Austin Reaves. And let's continue by comparing his argument with Talen Horton-Tucker's, who I believe has given up the title as their most valuable young player, which at this point is pretty much unanimously agreed upon. However, my goal here is not to hate on THT, nor is it to call him a bad player either. In fact, I still believe he has a good amount of potential, but it's become clear that he is a far more limited player than Austin Reaves, and is not nearly as adaptable compared to him either, which in my opinion is a very underrated aspect of a young player, because if you were to put both of them on a rebuilding team and pretty much give them free reign over an offense, then THT would probably stand out a bit more. But if you were to put both of them on a team with bigger expectations, and in a much more limited role, much like they had this year with the Lakers, that is when you can really find out which young players contribute the most to winning. And while that's not to say that THT cannot eventually get there, but for now, he has a long way to go in terms of becoming a complete player. Now, you can make a similar argument for Austin Reaves, but to a much lesser degree, because compared to THT, he is a very well-rounded player. He was able to earn playing time during his rookie year primarily due to his defense and overall good decision making, both of which are categories that THT has a lot of work to do on. And yet, Austin Reaves may win the argument for better offensive player too. He may not have the pure scoring ability nor scoring mentality that THT does, but he arguably has a more well-rounded offensive game. For one, he has already shown the potential to play both on the ball and off the ball, something that THT has not shown the ability to do yet. Both of them need to work on their three-point shooting, but Reaves has proven to be a much more effective off-ball player. He was better at moving without the ball, knowing where to be on the court, and had an overall higher off-ball IQ. But when you put the ball in their hands, that is where the real debate comes into play. Both of them have shown great on-ball potential, and it's where they feel the most comfortable. Like I mentioned before, Horton-Tucker has more of a scoring mentality, with playmaking coming secondary, which, to no surprise, led to him putting up 41 points in one of their final games when allowed to be their primary ball handler. And then for Austin Reaves, the triple-double that he put up is still fresh in our minds, and it's a very good indicator, albeit an exaggerated one, of the on-ball player that he can be. Rather than having a scoring mentality like THT, he is more of a primary playmaker, which is a carryover of the point guard that he was during college. He can create plays for both himself and for his teammates, and most impressively, he showed the ability to do that at a high level during his rookie year, something that THT was not able to do. However, we do need to recognize that even though Austin Reaves is coming off his rookie year, he is actually older than Talen Horton-Tucker is right now. And not only by a couple of months either. In reality, he is more than 2 years older than Talen Horton-Tucker, which we cannot fail to mention during an argument about potential, and in that regard, I feel like far too many fans have been a bit too impatient with Talen Horton-Tucker. Again, I do believe that Austin Reaves has now overtaken him as their most valuable young player, but that does not mean that it's time to give up on THT. We need to remember that he was drafted as a 19-year-old toward the end of the second round, and many players drafted around that area never even end up getting playing time in the NBA. And I just wanted to make that very clear before concluding his argument. No, he may no longer be their most valuable young player, but that does not mean he's a failed project. But other than Malik Monk and Talen Horton-Tucker, is there any other young player who can put up an argument? And well, you may not agree with it, but some people believe that Wenyen Gabriel can. Now, we do need to acknowledge that his argument is not nearly as good compared to Austin Reaves, or probably not even Malik Monk or THT, but I would agree that he has made a case for being a young player with value. They may have picked him up from the G League and only had 19 games to evaluate him, but during that time, he did prove to be a quality young player. Now being 25 years old, it was kind of a make it or break it year for Gabriel, and fortunately for him, he was able to carve out a role with the Lakers. He showed off his versatility during that time and quickly earned a bigger role on their team, which led to him being given a contract that might allow him to return next year too. And I know that I've mentioned this before, but it is not easy to find young 3&D wing players in today's NBA for cheap, and especially not ones who can arguably play at small forward, power forward, and even center like Gabriel can. With all of that being said though, I still don't think that Gabriel has a real argument to be their most valuable young player. He definitely has potential, but he is not really on the level of Austin Reaves. That will conclude my thoughts on this debate though, and what do you guys think? Do you agree with Austin Reaves being their most valuable young player? Let me know your thoughts by commenting down below and we can talk about it there. But before you go, I would like to invite you to join the official Discord for the channel. If you like having NBA debates and discussion with others in real time, being updated on NBA news, or even being able to chat with me, then you really should think about joining. That will do it for this video though. Big thank you to everyone who took the time to watch until the end of the video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, be sure to drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and turn on notifications to get notified right away when I drop a new video. But as always, thank you for watching and have a great day.